Hey guys, it's QBricks and welcome back to another video. So since you guys liked the last speed builder review so much, we're doing another one. And this one's either going to be just as big or even bigger. But I'm really excited to get started, so let's go get it. Alright, so here it is. We're building the Liebherr LR 13000. And this thing's really cool. As you can see, it has 2,883 pieces and it even connects up to your phone. And I'm really excited to get building. But before we can do that, let's check out the box. So here on the front we have a nice picture of the crane and the piece count on the bottom. This side shows the length and the height, and also all the motors this set comes with. The back shows us every part of the crane we can control. The other side has a close-up of the crane, and the top has a piece showing a 1:1 scale of the build. Alright, I think it's time to finally get this box open, so let's do it. So the first thing we're going to open is the instructions manual, because I think this will help us with all the other boxes. So with the first box open, we have both instruction manuals and all of our stickers. And it's nice to see all the stickers being big because it's truly a pain when all of them are tiny. But I'm going to open up book 1 and see what it tells us to do. So first things first, when we open up the book, it tells us a little bit about the crane and a lot of its capabilities. It also says we need to get the Lego Technic Control app from the App Store. So now it's telling me to get the app and put all the batteries in, but I kind of want to check out all the other boxes first. So let's quick do that. First off, we got this box, and it looks like it's going to have most of the motors in it. Alright, so we opened it up and it's got a bunch of little boxes and a lot of these counterweight pieces. And I actually made a YouTube short about these pieces, calling them the most useless piece ever. Because their only connection is themselves and they weigh less than the old weight pieces. But let's check out what's inside of these boxes. So in the little boxes we have 6 of these motors. Let's check out the bigger ones. Alright, so right here are 2 Bluetooth adapters. And these connect to your phone or your tablet to power your crane. So let's put all these back in the box and check out the next. Alright, for the next box we got this one, and I think it's just going to have a lot of Technic pieces inside. Looks about similar to what I expected. Next up we got more Technic pieces, and some pieces for some really big gears. Next up we got even more Technic pieces, and a list of all the axle sizes on the front. But those are all of the bonus pieces. Let's open up the main box. And it looks like your pretty standard Lego box. So let's take out all of the packages. And now I'm going to sort them by number on the floor. And these are some pretty big bags. They actually only go up from numbers 1 through 5. But now that we've got everything sorted, let's go put the batteries in our motors. So we've got everything we need. Let's get these things installed. Alright, so all the batteries are finally in the hubs. Let's connect them to my iPad. So we got the Lego Technic Control app here, and we're going to press on the Liebherr LR 13000. Now we're going to play drive, and it's going to find the motors in the area. So as you can see, this light just turned blue, and now the iPad's looking for it. And now we're going to do it on this one, and just like that, they're connected. Now as you see, it's updating all the firmware, so this might take a few minutes. Alright, so now that we have both of our hubs ready, it's finally time to start building. So let's move this desk to the wall and get section 1 opened. So we got all the bags ready for section 1, it's finally time to start building. So we've got a bunch of pieces on the table, and judging from the book, we're going to need a couple of our bonus ones. So here we have section 1 done, and as you can see, it's the rotating base. But it won't rotate yet until we get some power to it. Alright, let's get all the bags for section 2 ready and get started on the next. And this time we're actually going to keep all of our pieces in a bin to make them more sorted. And judging by the looks of this is a lot more pieces than last time. Alright, now that we finished the second step, we can finally click this button. So now it's given us the opportunity to test our build. So first of all, we're going to press the green button on this hub and wait for it to connect. So now we see that the light turns on, and we can now rotate our turn base. So I heard a kind of a sketchy noise there, but we're going to try again. So it looks like we have a problem here. We can't rotate the turn base to match the position. So it seems like the wheelbase is a little messed up, but we're going to get back to that. Now let's control the left track. And it looks like we got this one all set up correctly. Now let's test the right track. And it looks good to me. Now we can do both of them. And this thing is basically just gliding. So we got a problem with the turn base, I'm going to try to figure it out and get back to you. So we got the crane all fixed, and now you can see we can spin the turntable all the way around. So now let's turn this whole crane around. Alright, this thing's looking pretty sweet, and it's starting to get a lot of features. Let's move on to bag 3 and see what's next. Alright, this thing is looking nice and we got everything working. It's time to move on to the third section. And I think putting the pieces in the box made building it a lot easier. So let's get them opened and start building. So we finished off section 3, let's take a look at it. So we added the rest of the motors and the battery hub to the build, but so far they don't have any functions. Also in the back we have these rubber bands that allow this thing to go up and down, but when building in the instructions it's straight up like this, and when I leave it, it falls down. So I don't know if this is how it's supposed to be or if it's a problem. But I'll keep building and hopefully I find out. Alright, let's open up bags 4 and keep going. So on bags 4 we're going to get this base out of here and start working on the crane part. So let's move this off the table. Alright, so we got all of our pieces ready, and we're finally moving on to book number 2. Also, if you like this sweatshirt or the shirt I was wearing, make sure you go check out www.newworld.co. They make a bunch of really cool clothes, and this is probably my favorite sweatshirt. They also just dropped a new collection with some really cool winter designs. So if you want to check them out, I'll leave the link in the comments, but let's get back to the video. And I actually had a problem where all of these pieces were put on backwards, but I finally got it figured out. So now it's finally time to put this thing on. So just like that, we got the first part of our crane on. So let's keep building and make this thing a lot bigger. So that was a little bit sketchy, but we got it all done. Let's keep building. Alright, we're at another break in the build where we gotta bring out the iPad, and this time we're gonna test the Jib Spool function. Or at least that's what the book calls it. So let's bring out the iPad and start testing it. And that's what the build's looking like so far, so let's press this orange button. And now we're setting up the Jib. So we gotta go press the green button on the upper hub. And once again our motor is connecting, and now it's connected. And we are starting with an empty spool, so we can click this green check mark. And I'd say it looks pretty similar to this image, so let's press it again. Alright, so once we press go, this crane is going to start moving. And this thing is huge, I had to back up the camera a little bit. So now let's calibrate the arm, and the parts will move automatically. And just like that, calibration is complete. And it still looks like this, so now we can give the arm a try. And this thing is pretty crazy. You have the ability to move it forwards, backwards, and we can lift it up and down. Alright, we got the arm finished, so let's keep building. Alright, let's move on to our fifth and final section. And although this has been pretty hard, it's definitely been one of my favorites. The sheer scale and all the functions that the crane has truly amazes me. Plus it even connects to my iPad. But with all that being said, let's open up these bags and finish the build. Alright, so we got the iPad, and here you can see we're completing the hook. So I gotta go press the button on the upper hub, and wait for the iPad to connect. And once again, we gotta start with an empty spool. And our hook is hanging freely, so it's finally time to start spooling. And now we're almost ready to drive this thing, but we first have to calibrate it. So we're gonna go get it connected again. And it asks for space, but I really don't have much of that, so hopefully this goes well. And we finally have full operation of the lever, so we can use this to control the turn base. We can also use these to control the treads. Here we can move the arm and the hook. And this safety right here keeps the model from tipping. This red alert here will pop up when we're close to tipping too. And like that, our build's complete. So I'm going to play with this thing a little bit, and then let's get to our review. Alright, so here it is, and as you can see, this thing is crazy. When I was building it, I never imagined it was going to be this big. But here we are, and I think this is the biggest LEGO set I've ever built. And also, definitely one of the coolest. I've never seen a Technic set come with so many features and functions, and that's saying something considering that's what they're known for. I love the fact I can control it all from my iPad, and this set is truly one of a kind. And also, once everything is set up on the iPad, this thing is super easy to drive. So that was a few of the pros, but let's go over some cons. First of all, this thing is not easy to build. The string that deals with the hook measures 6.5 meters long, aka over 20 feet. Having to thread that through the build multiple times was not an enjoyable task, and that also goes for the other strings too. Another thing about this build is that it's kind of repetitive. I mean, you have to build a bunch of these sections, there's hundreds of pieces of thread, and the same color everywhere. And personally, I didn't really mind, but I know that is an issue for some builders. But lastly, and probably the biggest con that this set comes with, is the price point. This set costs $700 new from Lego.com, and to me that's crazy. It only comes with 2,883 pieces. And I mean, yeah, it comes with 6 motors and 2 Bluetooth hubs, but I'm not sure that justifies the price. And I mean, don't get me wrong, this thing is huge and way bigger than I thought it would be, but $700 still makes me rethink this. Overall, I really love this set and I think it's definitely one of the coolest, but the price definitely hurts me. So if I had to give this build a rating, I'd probably give it a 9 out of 10. And it could easily be a 10 if the price was dropped a couple $100s. But that's it for me. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. I'm a new YouTuber and any support really helps out the channel. Also, I'd love to hear your ideas for tests for the crane because I'm planning on making another crane video soon. And next time, I want to put this thing to the test. But once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next. QBricks out.